Y ya van días y varias semanas.
He hasn't given no response, and it's been days and it's been weeks and he hasn't said anything. Y espero logren su objetivo de la justicia a su país. Luchen por su país. Say the best sacrifice for your country. Están bloqueando el acceso. ¡Viva! Porque la Policía Federal o la autoridad nos está deteniendo el acceso y nos está deteniendo el paso para poder cruzar hacia el Zócalo, señores.
Good morning to everybody. The volume, man. I always have a problem with the volume going in. The video gets, it's a thing. It's an audio thing, man. I don't, when I was working at the radio stations, I used to have the audio guy, so he knew how to do it. But I'll figure it out later. How's everybody doing? I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News and America's Voice News. God bless everybody that is watching. God bless my country of Mexico, my city of Tijuana, and God bless the United States of America. Let's thank God for giving us 2 legs, 2 arms, a mind that we can think, a heart that we can feel, and eyes that we can see. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for our new followers. Our page is growing at Facebook. Our page is growing at Instagram, and our page is growing ultimately at YouTube. So thank you so much for our new followers, for growing our page, and for spreading the news, man. Spreading the news. Thank you so much. I want to thank Will Johnson last night. We did a phenomenal live feed, and we're going to do one again. Hopefully, not too far away from now. But it was really interesting what we were talking about last night. But, I want to elaborate. I was just live at Instagram. If people want to follow me on Instagram, I'm going live over there. I prefer to go live now on Instagram to do live feeds on the ground on Instagram, because Facebook inevitably, man, it's definitely something different. But I just did a live on Instagram. We were talking about the effects of the mass migration, and that I was talking about this last night also with Will Johnson. I was telling Will, Americans United States citizens and Americans need to look outside the bun, outside of the United States, of what is happening, because this is an inevitable wave of evil and globalism and communism that is coming to the north. And I will elaborate later on as I finish the live feed of these liberals, these progressive liberals. Oh, not progressive liberals. They don't even have the fault of this. These leftist communists in the United States of America, that they're not now, they're saying it is not a border crisis. It is a capitalist crisis. Oh, my God. It is a capitalist crisis. So you're telling me that if it was communism, this would not be a crisis, right? So you're telling me that if it would be socialism, this will not be a crisis. So don't mind the minus 35 on the gross domestic product that is occurring right now in Venezuela. Yes, that is occurring because the United States put sanctions on Venezuela. No, 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 no. No, don't even start with that. So don't mind what is going on in Cuba, that a lot of people are fleeing from Cuba. And if you ask a Cuban citizen, what do you think about these leftist communist Americans that they want communism in the country of the United States of America? And they will actually tell you, take them to Cuba. Take them over there to live the communist life. These people have never lived communism. They have never experienced poverty. They have never experienced necessities. They have never experienced nothing. There's a video that it was a TikTok that I want to blast right now, but man, I forgot to put it right here. But it's a video of a guy that is saying, you think you're suffering. You think you're having a bad time. You don't know what suffering is because right now you're watching me out of your $1,000 phone. You're watching me with your internet. You're watching me probably out of your comfortable house with your comfortable couch. You're watching me out all these comforts that you think that you're suffering, you're going through a hard time. You don't know what hard time is because a lot of people don't have that. And these people that they want to implement the communist ideology, they're that. They're sitting down on their, they're typing, they're activist journalists and they're writers and, all these, oh my God, yes, we need to spread the word and we need to be more, equal. Yes, I'm all for equality and I'm all for justice against a false government that has been ruling my country of Mexico, all these, parasites or political parasites that they have taken advantage of the Mexican people. Believe me, I'm all about that. But it's not about communism and socialism. No, it's about equality and justice. That is what it is about. Equality and justice. Now, I want to share this out and tell you guys what is going on in the border of Colombia and Venezuela. My God, it's a complete disaster. Holy cow. I've been talking to a guy via chat, a guy from Venezuela. And we have been communicating. Hopefully we will have a video call, but due to the internet circumstances in Venezuela, it's really hard for them to communicate with us. Video. Imagine that. Sometimes it doesn't even get up to 3G. Imagine how horrible it is. And he said, you can call me on the phone. So probably we will schedule a phone call later on in the week. But he was telling me, he gave me, Oscar, why aren't you talking about what is going on in the borders between Colombia and Venezuela? That there's a war right now with an organized crime and the organized cartel that is called the FARC, that is the greatest distributor of cocaine around the world. I didn't know anything about that. He said, I'll send you a link. I'll send you this. I'll send you that. So I started reading and I gave you guys the news of what was happening between these two borders. Now, studying a little bit more and getting a little bit more into it, you get to understand how the graphics and also the logistics of that border, how it works, and then why that border is one of the most trafficked borders around the world. And my God, everybody's talking about Mexico and the United States because it's close to the United States of America. We're neighbors. We're next door neighbors. But nobody's talking about the trampoline that is Colombia and how they're using Colombia as a trampoline to go to get to Chile, to go up to Panama, to all those other countries. But Venezuela, man, it is suffering so much. And I have said this before. I said it right now on Instagram. One of my dreams when I was a young kid was go to Venezuela. Because everybody was talking about Venezuela when I was in junior high school, I believe. So everybody's talking about Venezuela as that it was a magnificent country, was a first-class world country. It was one of the countries that it was one of the most richest countries, beautiful people, beautiful food, beautiful culture, beautiful everything. And I wanted to go there as a tourist. Now I want to go there and, for the longest time to report and to help. That is the difference now. That these communist and socialist people in the United States of America, they want to turn your country of the United States into one of the greatest countries that exists in the world, one of the most capitalist countries to exist in the world, for people to think, I want to go one day to the United States of America. And the United States of America, if the United States falls, it will not be that. It will be that other country that people will say, I want to go there to help, to report. It's a mindset of difference, man. It's a whole different ballgame when you think about it differently now. How people persuade now Venezuela as a country that money is on the floor. You walk around, there's money everywhere. Money is not valuable. There's the first class Venezuela and down to earth. It is the second class of Venezuela. Down to earth is the first class. It is horrible. But what is more, outrageous is what is happening in the borders and how much they are charging in the borders to cross them to Venezuela to Colombia. Look at this article that I'm about to give to you guys. That it was brought to me by our contact over there. And it's an article by Infobae from Colombia that says right here, look at this. Traffickers, they are asking for 100,000 pesos to enter people from Venezuela to the port of entry of Arauca and to take them to Bogota, that is the capital of Colombia. They are charging 200,000 pesos. And it says the authorities of the department, they have asked the government to intervene and to reclaim more personnel in that particular part of that area. This article was released on January 29 of 2021. Wow. Everybody thought that the most expensive border was the United States. That you have seen people that they're charging $14,000, $15,000 to cross to the United States of America. You are charging 100,000 pesos. That is close to $10,000. And you're charging 200,000 pesos, that is close to $20,000 in Central America, for God's sake. Holy cow. The enormous trafficking in this influx of migrants due to insecurities and due to these governments, tyrannous, socialist, communist governments like Nicolás Maduro in Venezuela, who they're pushing their people to the other side with necessity, with fear, with hunger. That is a country that is suffering. Venezuela is a country that is suffering. That actually is a country that is suffering, for God's sake. If you don't see that, you're blind. Look how this article relates a little bit right here. These are actual, a picture of them. How they're, for God's sake, man. Holy cow. Oh my God. And it says right here, the article relates right here, from Caracas, Venezuela to Maracay, migrants are arriving from Venezuela to the department of Arauca, that is the other side of the border of Colombia. That is the limitation of the border with the neighbor country. The government alerted that the trips are being offered to mafias through social media. Isn't that a coincidence? How the caravans are working over here in Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador with Mexico, and also with the United States. Aren't they working through social medias? Have you guys seen it? It's kind of like the same, huh? It's kind of like the same, isn't it? Well, it's exactly the same as how they're doing over there in the border between Colombia and Venezuela. And it says they offer them through social media migrant packages with a bus to enter Colombia and other parts of the region. The Secretary of Government and Security of Citizens of that section, Merardo Tobar, told Caracol Radio, that is a radio station, that in the last week has incremented the fluency of migrants imposed by traffickers, that they are basically charging illegal trips that they have been around 2,000 migrants at that particular time that entered Colombia. Now, look at what they said right here on the bottom. Look what it said. Also, Tobar, the guy in charge of Secretary of Government and Security of Citizens, said this: the numbers are elevated. And the processes of these people that is called coyotes, they have said that they are charging almost $30 or more, $30,000 or 106,000 pesos, Colombian pesos, when they try to enter to Medellin, Bogota. That is the actual cost of 280,000 pesos. Holy cow, people. And if they're actually dollars per person, imagine if you're holy $30 per person, hasta $30 de 106,000 pesos colombianos y 280,000 pesos que son los miden en miles. So if you're charging $30 per person, and if you're talking about 4,000 people, holy cow. Wow. Whoo. Isn't it this is not like the left is saying, and all these keyboard writers, this is a conspiracy theory, Oscar. It's a conspiranoic QAnon, inadmissible conspiracy theorist. Isn't it crazy? But there's no child trafficking. Those are conspiracy theories. There's no traffickers. Nothing is happening. It's just necessary. Holy cow, man. Imagine how many, and let me just tell you the number that it was giving by the Colombian government. More than 2 million people have migrated to Colombia. So multiply, oh my God. Multiply the number, 30 million per 30. 2 million per 30, I believe so. Holy, it's just the business of this organized crime that is occurring in Central America and South America. It is exactly the same of what is happening over here in our borders. Exactly the same. But you don't see the left. Not even, there's sources. Now there's outlets from the right saying that. But you don't see the left saying anything about this. Nothing is giving out numbers. They're not pushing this. Why? Because you push against their narrative and you're going against the sensitivity. Oh my God, you're playing with somebody else's life. Holy cow. So when it comes to statistics, you're a racist, a fascist, a narcissist, and also a dictator. Because that's a new one. You're a dictator also. This is an article that it was released in January 29 of 2021. Now, listen to this, what has been happening, because I told you yesterday, more than 4,000 migrants fled from Venezuela to Colombia, and they're stationed right now in more than 15 shelters, unfortunately, in Colombia. Now, listen to this. This is another article that it is relating to what is happening right now in the city. The same situation that Tijuana, that Juarez goes through, that Tapachula goes through in Mexico, it is the same situation that is happening right now in Colombia. It is. This is why I was being specific last night with everybody. This is why I was specific last night with everybody, telling every single one of you. It is really important that everybody knows what is going on down south in Central America and South America. Really important, because you understand from there how the graphics and how the geographics of this influx. You get to understand specifically how it is happening. So this is a article released by the Immigration Minister of Exterior Relations of Colombia. Look what is happening. This was on Wednesday, March 31st of 2021. Foreigners that they were mobilizing on buses on an irregular form to territory of Colombia were detected by the Immigration of Colombia. This, people, it occurs consistently in our country of Mexico. This consistently occurs in our country of Mexico, but you get the ACLU in the United States of America. You get the organizations, the nonprofits in the U.S. that they are prohibiting this because it's against their humanitarian right. It is against you're insulting, you're taking advantage of them, you're not letting them. You're like, oh my God. But Colombia is doing it. Mexico is doing it. But the United States is not doing it because the United States is letting them in, as they let in 5,200 of them with no return to court. But this is actually happening in Colombia. It's actually happening in Guatemala. It's also happening. In El Salvador is also happening. And now it's happening in Mexico, but it's not happening in the United States. So this, it says right here, in the middle of a checkpoint, and in the part of Manuela, 5 kilometers away from Chinchiná in Medellin, around 50 foreigners they were migrating irregularly, they were stopped. What is irregular? Irregular means that you don't have the visa transit, you don't have a permit, and you don't have a proper identification to be migrating from one border to another one. That is the correct way to migrate, right? You follow the immigration law. So this has to do with I'm all for immigration reform, and there needs to be an immigration reform around the world. I understand that, but this is irregular. And all of these people are getting stopped irregularly because they're migrating without documents and in a regular fashion. But in the United States of America, this is Colombia, by the way. In the United States of America, you see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and they're not being stopped. They're being released because that is not irregular, and they're fighting for that. That's crazy, isn't it? Then you add right here on the bottom another thing that the Colombian government is doing that is absolute to give them, 2 thumbs up. It says migration of Colombia sends a special group to Arauca, that is the border with Venezuela, to support the labors of verification and characterization to migrants of Venezuela. What does this tell you? That they are researching and searching meticulously who enters the country in Colombia. So they're doing that in Colombia. In Mexico, they're trying to do it also in their borders. Guatemala has also said that they are starting to do it, and they put an example to how to stop a 9,000 caravan the other day. So I don't know why the United States is not doing it. Isn't it? What the hell's going on? So for me, it looks like the whole purpose, when you're looking at processes of immigration processes, if you're looking at every country, how they're processing people, for the left in the United States of America, that they give opinions on other constitutions in other countries, like the 19 Congress Democrats, that they wanted to say that Mexico is militarizing their borders and they're militarizing their country, and they don't need that. They need civil police, for God's sake. Hijos de la chingada. Like that. These exact people are saying, oh no, over here is different. But you got countries like Colombia that they have suffered an influx of 2 million poor Venezuelan people, man. That's a country that That is the country that is suffering the most when it comes to poverty, socialism, and communism. That is the country that is suffering the most when it comes to poverty, socialism, and communism. But it is amazing that us, second world class countries, third world class countries, we are having processes and filters to know who's coming in and who's coming out into every filter of inspection. But in the United States of America, they want to remove that. What the hell's going on? And you got a country like Colombia that has suffered more than 2 million of the influx, and they want to take away. They don't want to take away that. They're doing their job, as if I'm showing this article right here. And then another one. Migration in Colombia rescues 2 women from Turkey that they were part of trafficking of people. They were being trafficked. They were victims. You don't see the left talking about this. There's no trafficking of women, Oscar. There's no exchange of women, Oscar, in these influx of migrants. There's never been. It's a conspiracy theory, Oscar Blue. You're just purposely every day spreading hate. Oh my God, so much hate, so much oppress. Do you think these people care about your, oh my God, it's so much hate, conspiracy, sensitivity? Do you think they care about it? Do you think they care about that? Your pandering, your pampering? This is a situation that happened in Colombia on the 26th of March. 2 women from Turkey, they were victims of trafficking. They got rescued. And it says right here, the judicial report, the operational department of Colombia, they rescued 2. I'm not reading it good. They rescued 2 women from Colombia that they were being trafficked in Turkey. It is all the way around. So it is 2 women from Colombia that they were being trafficked to Turkey. And the Colombian government rescued them. But nothing's happening over there. There's nothing happening. No. All the leftists in the United States of America, these leftist communists, they say, no, it's a conspiracy theory. Look at this article over here, another one over here. This was released on the 25th of March. It says, an operation with the Immigration Department and the National Police of Bogota, Colombia, detained 8 people presumably vinculated to a criminal ring of traffickers and falsifications of IDs from Venezuela. Doesn't it sound a little bit like what is happening in Mexico? Kind of like it, Liz. Kind of related, huh? But the left over there in the United States of America saying it's a conspiracy theories, Oscar Blue. It's all conspiracy theories, Oscar Blue. This is another one. All of it on the same page. You can go to the page of Immigration of Colombia. That is the border that is a disaster right now, Arauca, with Venezuela. 8 people were detained that they were vinculated with a criminal ring of traffickers with falsification of IDs from Venezuela. This is another one. I'm just reading articles from this. I just already read them, but I'm reading articles right now of this. It just goes on and on, people. More than 780 Venezuelan families that run away from their countries through military operations close to the Arauquita municipal city of Colombia. This has to do with the fleeing and the exile of almost 4,000 migrants due to the bombings and also the irregular activities of the organized crime, the FARC, with the border, the military of Venezuela. The left is saying there's no problem with it. It's just conspiracy theories. You know what the left is also saying? This is so funny, man. This is so funny because the left in the United States now is blaming. You know how Alexandria Ocasio is saying this is not a border crisis. This is a American imperialism crisis. This is a what she said also, the climate crisis. This is a carceral crisis. And sorry about my accent. First and foremost, sorry about my accent, my Mexican accent. And this is all about I don't know how many crises she said. There's no border crisis. And now they're saying that this is a capitalist crisis. They're saying this is a capitalist crisis. So everybody knows that in Russia, there is only communism, right? It is a communist agenda. Russia is communist. So they are saying this is a capitalist crisis, right? This is what the left is saying in your country. Can you guys read what it says right there on the top? I'm just going to have a drink of coffee right here. And if you guys can read what this communist president, by his name is Vladimir Putin, just did yesterday. Can you guys read right there what it says on the top? And now you can tell me, so if they're saying that this is a capitalist crisis, that means that they want communism, right? Communism is absolute dictatorship and absolute, narcissistical dictatorship. So if they're saying this is a capitalist crisis, that means that they want communism or socialism, right? So can you guys read what it says right there on the top? And I love talking to you. Oh, the coffee's so good. Let me read it to you guys. What it says right here on the top. It says right here that this man right here, Vladimir Putin, signs a law to enable him to stay in power until 2036. This is a capitalist crisis. That's what the left is saying in the United States of America. This is all the fault of capitalism, right? This is just capitalism. Has nothing to do with communism. So Cuba is doing all right. Everybody in Cuba, todos los cubanos que me están viendo, esta gente de la izquierda en Estados Unidos, esta gente de mente en la izquierda en los Estados Unidos está diciendo que la crisis ahorita en este momento es una crisis capitalista. Entonces quiere decir que comunismo y socialismo están bien. Entonces, saludos para todos nuestros hermanos cubanos que nos están viendo, que está diciendo que esta izquierda está diciendo que el comunismo en Cuba está perfecto, ¿eh? I'm just saying, I want to say hello to all our Cuban followers, to all our Cuban brothers that they're watching. These people from the left in the United States of America, they're saying that it is a capitalist crisis. So they're insinuating that communism and socialism is okay. So for every Cuban that is watching, they're saying that communism in Cuba está bien, that they're good. Also, for everybody in Venezuela, para todos nuestros hermanos venezolanos, esta gente de la izquierda está diciendo que es una crisis capitalista, que no es una crisis comunista o socialista o no es una crisis en la frontera. So, for everybody in Venezuela that is watching, all these people from the left in the United States are saying that this is a capitalist crisis, not a communist crisis, not a totalitarianism. Communism, what your guys are suffering in socialism in Venezuela, that is not a crisis. That is no, Oscar. This is a capitalist crisis. It's all about capitalism. But you get a guy right here that has just enabled the law to stay in power 2036. A communist. Vladimir Putin, a communist. This, nobody's talking about it. Nobody. Vladimir Putin is good. Vladimir Putin is staying in power until 2036. That's good. That is so good. So this is not a crisis. To all the people, what they're suffering in Russia, what they're suffering in China. Suffering in China. China is a powerful country. By the way, let me address this before I go into this enabling in power until 2036. What's going on with all these Americans, leftists, communist Americans, that they're saying American imperialism? You guys forgot about the Chinese imperialism right now? Why are you guys not talking about that? I just want to know why you guys are not talking about how China, it is now extracting minerals in Bolivia of lithium, and they're just going over there offering cheap man labor and cheap pay to the Bolivian people for extracting lithium because you guys want to exchange the automobile industry to electrical cars. You guys are not talking about that Chinese imperialism, right? You guys are not talking about how Chinese investors are right now in Sonora, where there's the biggest supply of lithium, trying to invest and offer a cheap man labor pay to Mexicans to extract minerals of lithium, right? There's no Chinese imperialism right there. There's no Chinese imperialism with bringing their cheap product at like these stores like Walmart and inflating the market. Let's say an example, John and David, they're selling this mouse for $5, and you bring China and it says, I will sell it to you for $1, and it inflates your economy and your market. But no, that's not Chinese imperialism, right? Pushing away the mom and pop business, the capitalism, the interior capitalists, people pushing away that. No, let it be manipulated by big markets and by, one market only. That is not Chinese imperialism, right? You got the American imperialism that they have been extracting minerals from Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador. And oh my God, that is why they're migrating. That is your justification, right? But nobody's talking about Chinese imperialism right now, how they are dominating right now our world. No, with the 5G, with Huawei technology, nobody, no, it's okay, güey, no, hombre. ¿Por qué hablas de eso? No, los americanos. The white supremacists, it's all about the white supremacy. And enable, it's this inadmissible. And it is just, oh my God, so the white supremacy. And it is just like, oh my God, the white supremacy. And it's like, okay, can you tell me something else about it? It doesn't have to be involved with white supremacy, the white supremacy and the power of the white man or something. The white supremacy. It has to do with everything. So the white, oh my God. Oh my God. Can I throw up for a minute? So you got this man right here that says Putin signs a law enabling him to stay in power until 2036. The article says Russian President Vladimir Putin on Monday gave a final approval to legislation allowing him to hold office for 2 additional these communist people, man. Remember what I was telling you about Alexander Lukashenko? You know who Alexander Lukashenko is? Alexander Lukashenko, it is the president of Belarus. Alexander Lukashenko has been in power for more than 26 years. They're talking about socialism and communism. There's no dictatorship right there. Evo Morales in Bolivia was a socialist that it was in power for more than 12 years. But there's no socialism and dictatorship right there. And now Alexander Lukashenko from Belarus was going to get replaced. And who interfered for him? This man right here. Let us read the article before I go. It says, Russian President Vladimir Putin on Monday gave final approval to legislation allowing him to hold office for 2 additional 6-year terms, giving himself the possibility to stay in power until 2036. The Russian collusion. The 60-year-old Russian leader who has already been in power for more than 2 decades. He needs more, man. He needs more to fix the country. He needs more. He doesn't need more than 2 decades. He needs more decades, man. He needs more decades. But it's a capitalism crisis. That's what it's a capitalism crisis, but they're not talking. No, this is a capitalism. It has 2 different ways. There's 2 different things that you're talking about, Oscar Blue. Look at this. So it says the 60-year-old Russian leader who has already been in power the joke just tells himself, man. The 60-year-old Russian leader who has already been in power for more than 2 decades signed off the bill Monday, according to a copy posted by the government legal information portal. Putin proposed the change last year as part of the constitutional reforms. The Russians overwhelmingly backed him in the vote. On July, lawmakers approved the new bill last month. Now, there was a big, controversy with a guy that it was from the right, that it was a right wing, that it was competing against Vladimir Putin, and he got poisoned. His name was, I will remember it right now. His name, and he got exiled to Lebanon, and they took away all his property and all his belongings. Now he's trying to go back to Russia, but it has it's a whole mess. So it says right here, the legislation will allow Putin to run in presidential elections again after his current second consecutive term expires in 2024. My God, this but no people, it is a capitalist crisis. It has nothing to do with communist dictatorship. And it says right here on the bottom, Putin was first elected president in 2000, 20 years ago, and served 2 consecutive 4-year terms. His ally, Dmitry Medvedev, took his place in 2008, which critics saw as a way around Russia's limit on a 2 consecutive terms of presidents. Exactly. It looks like kind of like the Biden-Obama administration, doesn't it? Kind of like what everybody's saying, this is Obama's 3rd term. Kind of like looks like the same. Look what it says right here. Putin was first elected president in 2000 and served 2 consecutive 4-year terms. His ally, Dmitry Medvedev, took his place in 2008, which critics saw as a way around Russia's limit on 2 consecutive terms for president. While in office, Medvedev signed off a legislation extending terms to 6 years, starting with the next president. Putin then returned to the Kremlin in 2012, winning re-election in 2018. Kremlin opponents criticized the legislation allowing him to run for 2 more terms, calling it a pretext to allow Putin to become president for life. Oh, no. Oh, my God. This is so ridiculous, man. This is so ridiculous. Listen, I will put a comment right here by Leonor Jensen. There is a comment in Spanish. Con tu autorización, Leonor Jensen, quiero poner este comentario en el live feed porque es muy importante tú que sabes de esto. I want to put this comment that is a Spanish comment, and I will translate this Spanish comment right now, talking about these dictators, man. These dictators, but the left in the United States of America are calling this a capitalist crisis. It has nothing to do with all these parasites that they stay in power for the longest time, taking advantage of a country and destroying the sovereignty of the country. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the capitalist crisis in the system. Look at this comment. It says, nadie habla de la manera que los comunistas destruyeron Cuba hace 60 años y cómo después vía Chávez y Maduro destruyeron Venezuela. Nadie habla de que los Castro en Cuba han esclavizado a los cubanos cuando los castristas viven la vida de ricos. Nadie habla que Fidel Castro murió 1 años atrás. Leonor Jensen says, nobody's talking about how these communist agenda destroyed Cuba for 60 years. And nobody's talking about how Chavez and Maduro destroyed also, and they have destroyed also Venezuela. Nobody's talking about how the Castros in Cuba have slaved their own people, and they live the rich life as the Castros do right now. And nobody talks about that Fidel Castro has already been dead for the longest time, but they live under the same communist ideologies. Amazing. It's just amazing, all of this, man. So for everybody that is watching, let me just put it again right here for everybody. Look at his face, man. He's so happy. He's so happy right there. I just can't with his face, man. He's just like, you knew Insky that I was gonna stay in power, Insky, Oscar Insky. I am Empower Insky. That is his face, man. Right there. So for everybody, Putin signs the law enabling him to stay in power until 2036. That's about it for me. Oh my God. I was supposed to do another show with this. Possibly I will do it. We'll do it later on today. How's everybody doing? I'm Oscar Blue for Border Negro News and America's Boys News. God bless everybody that is watching. I will do this show in Spanish right now as soon as I finish this live feed. Thank you so much for joining me. You can follow my partner, Real Anthony Agüero. You can follow him at YouTube, Parler, Orbeez, Rumble, Instagram, Facebook, and all the platforms. Also, you can follow Ben Berquam at Frontline America and also Real America's Boys News. Download the app, rumble.com, and also you can follow Will Johnson at United America First, and you can follow me as Oscar L. Blue at Facebook, Instagram. Follow my Instagram as Oscar L. Blue, YouTube as Oscar L. Blue, Rumble as Oscar L. Blue, and also my channel at Telegram as Oscar L. Blue. God bless you all. It has been a phenomenal morning. Let us go and do our Spanish live feed. Stay safe. It is an honor and it is a pride to be born in Mexico and to be a Latino. And God bless the United States of America. And like we always say, people, peace and love. Because always, your country's first. God bless.
Y ya van días y varias semanas.
He hasn't given no response, and it's been days and it's been weeks, and he hasn't said anything. Espero logren su objetivo de la justicia a su país. Luchen por su país. Say the best sacrifice for your country. Están bloqueando el acceso. ¡Viva! Porque la Policía Federal o la autoridad nos está deteniendo el acceso y nos está deteniendo el paso para poder cruzar hacia el Zócalo, señores.